That's how my dad used to ring the doorbell when I was a little kid, just so you guys know that fun fact. Anyway, we're here at 28 Stone Street. Really excited to show you guys each apartment. Finally done with the build. It's the best house in town by far. The bar has been raised, so all of you watching, step your games up. I'm happy to build stuff like this for you or renovate it. And I want to continue to do more of this in the future, so super excited to show you about it. So, and this is the kitchen breakfast area. I think the sign kind of says it all at this house. This is like one of our Instagram walls for the tenants. So, you know, I envision in the future they'll be under here, just basically making memories. And that's the important thing to remember, you know, when you're building. It's like whoever's going to move into the house, they're going to make it their home, and you want to make it memorable for them. All right, so here in the kitchen, I'm going to point out some things we did that's a little different than we usually do. So for one, we put in a spice rack here. I think it's a nice selling point, again, for, you know, for rental property. We always do white appliances. I know people wonder why, like, oh, that's cheaper than stainless. Stainless is, you know, hot. That's true, but with a rental property, I'm not a big fan of stainless because, number one, if you guys have it at home, you know, they get smudges. And number two, if you don't know how to clean them, you can actually damage them because there's wipes and there's stainless steel wipes that you're supposed to use. So we cut a little bit of money there. We just go with white appliances, but these are still great and Jean. The backsplash, big shout out to Jean at Best Tile East Brunswick. She helped me out with this backsplash. Really helped to kind of tie in the whites, you know, the brass, like all the craziness we have with this granite, and to tie in all the gold accent pieces. And then another thing we do, I'm giving away all my secrets here, is a lot of times in these corners we do what's called a dead corner, because the fact of the matter is not everybody uses this like a lazy Susan or an extended cabinet. So under here is really dead space. Helps us save a little bit of money when we're designing the kitchens, but then we put that money elsewhere, which you'll see throughout the house. So in each apartment, they have stackable washer dryer, really nice selling feature. I don't know if these are a little bit more expensive than like your typical cheap ones. Those of you who have stackables, you kind of know what I'm talking about. I don't even know how to use these, to be honest with you. I don't have these at home, but they're really nice looking. I don't even know how to use the thing. There you go. But yeah, this is great. And then it's also out of sight, out of mind. So when you're doing your wash, right, we close this. Yeah, muffles the noise. So again, we have this in the first floor apartment. We also have it in the second floor apartment. Both are right off the kitchen, so it's just nice and easy for people. All right, guys. So if you notice throughout the house and in this video, this flooring is throughout the entire house. This is hardwood flooring, and it's a very rich flooring. It's not cheap, but I love using it in all my builds. It's 4 inches wide. It just has such a rich look to it. You can obviously stain it, you know, whatever color you want. But I like putting hardwood because over time I'm gonna win. Because when you put it in laminate gets beat up, people spill drinks on it, or it gets, you know, damaged or whatever. Hardwood in the future, like at some point, I can just refinish this versus having to rip up all the laminate property and reinstall it. So it's more expensive up front, but long term you win out, and it's got such a great selling feature. And you know, again, with this house, the bar is here, right? So everything about this house has to look excellent. So that's why we chose to go hardwood, if you're wondering in this video. So we are in the basement of apartment 1. Again, it's the 2-floor apartment. This basement, if you recall watching one of our videos, we kind of made a mistake and dug a little too deep, but like a couple inches. But what's nice is now the ceiling height is pushing almost 9 feet in the basement. I'm just sick. That's like, that's luxury. Now, if you're wondering what this is behind me, so by code, this window sill in a basement has to be 44 inches from the floor. So if this platform wasn't here, a short person, God forbid there's a fire, gonna have a problem getting out. But since this platform is here, they could walk up the steps and hop out. So that's why you see those platforms in each bedroom in this house. Guys, so this is probably my favorite selling point of apartment 1, is I built a sick reading nook under the stairs coming down into the basement. You got a light, you got an outlet right here. So and it's huge, man. Like I'm 6'4", I'm a big guy. Like you could fit two of me in this area. So I envision people just like chilling here, studying, reading, you know, doing, you know, complaining about Tverdov housing's property management. Hopefully not. But I think this is just like an awesome space to just kind of hang out and chill in the basement. I'm super proud of it. And it's, again, this is something I designed in the early stages with the architect. So we're in the mechanical room here. This is kind of for all you builder nerds. But so this basement, we did a French drain. The outside has tar on it. Then it has plastic on it. Then it's surrounded by concrete on two sides with a porch on the front and the deck on the back. So knock on wood, we don't get water down here. So in addition, we got a sump pump. The sump pump also has a water-powered battery backup. So what does that mean? So like, let's say we get a hurricane that knocks out power, right? The water pressure in the house will still allow the sump pump to work, which is great. So when I'm finishing basements, I'm very cognizant of that because we don't want water, right? So like, even the furnace I have up on blocks. So the furnace is up 8 inches. If you look over here, I've got the tankless water heater in the furnace, and again, that's because, like, you know, God forbid it ever leaks. Like, I don't want a traditional Bradford white leaking all over the floor. So it's a room that nobody's ever gonna think about, but I've thought about it a whole hell of a lot, and it's meant to just make the house perform a lot better. All right, guys, I'm here upstairs in apartment 2. I'm going to show you around this apartment, a couple of little differences from apartment 1. So one thing you'll notice is up here, a little bit more open kitchen / breakfast area, I like to call it. So the finishes in the kitchen are the same as downstairs. This is the first time I've used gold. I was pretty excited to use it. It's a little bit, it's a little challenging to find granite that works with gold, and the one thing that's different when you're building a rental property is white countertops look super pretty, but they're very easy to stain, and so having a dark countertop kind of hides stains a little bit better, so it's a little bit more tenant proof. That's why we went with it. So one thing that's different about the design up here is all the natural light that's in this second floor apartment. You got 4 windows in the front. The back has 3 windows. The sun is predominantly going to be on this side of the house, so the back bedrooms are going to get a lot of natural sunlight, you know, natural warmth in the winter time. It's all about adding as much light as possible in a house, whether it's, you know, whether I'm building a custom home or a rental property like this one. I think it's a great feature for anybody who's living in the home. In part of the design process before we built, I was very focused on making this wall open. And I talked about this in another video, but the reason why is like the space just looks so much bigger when you have an open wall. And this is a nice touch. When you see the railing with the balusters, I think it looks super awesome. This is all red oak that we got put up. Even the hand nails are red oak. So we got everything stained. It's nice and new, nice and modern. All the bathrooms are pretty much identical with, you know, with all the tile, the shelving, the box for like your shampoos and soaps, that sort of thing. This bathroom is a little bit different in design with all blue cabinets. Again, that's something I've never done, but I like it. It looks really modern. So this house has everything. Everything's a level up in this house, basically. All right, guys, we're outside 28 Stone Street. I'm going to talk you through the porch design a little bit. When I can on a porch, I definitely get a little carried away, but for good reason. So, for example, we installed these decorative panels on the porch. If you see these in New Brunswick, I did the work, because no one else really does this in New Brunswick. You'll see it a ton down the shore, and that's kind of the vibe I try to go with on the outside. So, you know, we have some beautiful lattice on the outside, all tread Stepney, the custom rails I talked about. Now these huge looking posts, it's like kind of like a frat look. This kind of came from the town because this was my first build. I had no margin for error, so we actually, so the side of the property is 6 inches from the neighbors, and the other side is about the same, and the front is like 0. So we had no room to play with. So actually, we had to call an audible. So the entrance had to be from here, coming to the house. So that's why you see the columns in the front. Also on the porch, we have all key lights. So at night, super bright. We put some decorative paneling up here and stained it like a rich dark color. And then also on the outside, we have security cameras all throughout the house. They're hardwired. I can watch them on my phone if I want. And then also on the outside, we got fire department connection. God forbid there's ever a fire. Strobe horn, sprinkler, the works. So the outside of the porch is really great. We also have an outlet over there for people to use to kind of hang out on. So it's an awesome space. Everything about this house is awesome. We're gonna pretend we didn't see that. So the backyard of Stone Street was extremely challenging. I had to build this massive fire escape that we're standing on now, and it's a back deck with a fire escape connected to it. And behind me you see the nice green grass. We have like a nice little walkway patio to come back here. Again, it's just got like a real shore vibe to it. And I decided to wrap everything with Trex and Azek. Definitely really expensive, but the whole house is beautiful. I can't have the back all painted, and then every couple of years you have to paint that stuff anyway, so it just wasn't worth it to me. I wanted to wrap it, do it once, do it right, which is exactly what we did, but many details come with wrapping decking for anybody who knows. But this is a nice feature for the people who live here. You got a nice back deck, you got a nice backyard, you have fencing. Behind me, or actually over here rather, we got the condenser units. We had to plant shrubs to block it. You can't see it, but we have a sump pump discharge pit in the backyard to get any water that goes into the sump pump out away from the house. We planted a little Christmas tree over there that eventually will grow. So I mean, even the backyard is just a tremendous improvement from what was here previously. So that's about it, guys, with 28 Stone Street. Finally done with the project. Soup to nuts, it took me about 6 months. This was my first build. Learned a whole hell of a lot. Also learned that I love doing it. I want to do it again, both for myself and potentially the right customers who are out there and kind of share the same vision. So if you liked what you've seen, feel free to give this channel a follow. We're producing lots of great content. You can also follow me on Instagram. Pete Does Real Estate. I'm constantly posting stuff every day, and every project I do, I want to be better and better and better, and that's my goal, is to raise the bar and just make the homes that have my name on it, that were built quality, and homes that people really enjoy even just driving by. So hope you guys enjoyed the video series, and I can't wait to share the next one with you.